Making great espresso at home usually takes skill. Grind size, dosing, tamping pressure. It's easy to get it wrong. But what if it was all effortless? What if making cafe quality espresso at home was as easy as moving the portafilter from A to B to C? No scales, no tamping, no extra steps. Just perfect coffee every time. After all, espresso is a 30-second brew method, and it manages to feel like a hassle. Grinding, dosing, tamping, extracting, adjusting. It's quick in theory, but the reality is it can feel like a full-on science experiment. Now, this isn't going to be one machine doing it all. This is 3 tools working together to make espresso feel effortless. And speaking of making things effortless, if you love great coffee and great rewards, check out our Brew Points loyalty club, where you earn points, get exclusive perks, and make every coffee purchase work for you. You can check out Brew Points through the link in the description down below. Let's now get back into the video. When it comes to an espresso, it's supposed to be fast. Just 30 seconds, yet somehow it feels like the process takes much longer. And that's exactly where these tools come in. We're not removing the craft of espresso, we're making that 30-second brew method actually feel fast, without compromising on quality. And the first step? The grinder. Most grinders give you a grind dial and then expect you to figure out the rest. Some do take it a step further with time-based grinding, where you program, say, 6 seconds, and then it dispenses coffee for exactly that long. And the idea there is, by tweaking the time, you can dial the right amount of coffee out. But here's the issue with time-based grinding. It isn't precise. If you adjust the grind size, even slightly, the amount of coffee it produces changes, as finer grinds do take longer to grind, and coarser grinds are faster to produce. So that 6-second grind time will always give you a different weight, depending on the grind setting. And in espresso, even a fraction of a gram extra in the basket can completely change how the way the shot behaves. That's why weight-based grinding is the real game changer here. No matter how you adjust the grind size, you always get the exact dose you need. No separate scale, no extra steps. Just lock in your portafilter with the right amount and the coffee is ready. And that's exactly what the Firenzato all-ground sense does. It removes the guesswork, giving you precision and consistency in a way that makes this step feel as effortless as it should be. Now that we've got the perfect dose in the basket, directly into the portafilter, what's the next step? Well, if espresso has a moment where everything can go wrong in an instant, it's tamping. Even with a perfect grind and dose, tamping inconsistencies can ruin your shot. Tamp too hard and you risk over-extraction. Tamp too soft and the water rushes through, under-extracting the coffee. And if the tamp is even slightly uneven to the left or right, you're inviting channeling. And this is where water finds the path of least resistance, leading to an unbalanced, weak, or bitter espresso. With something like the puck press, tamping is just a motion. You place the portafilter in, and it applies the perfect pressure every time. If you're pulling just one espresso a day, you will get away with manually tamping. But if you're making multiple espressos, whether for friends, family, or just dialing in shots, consistency is everything. And an automatic tamper removes tamping as a variable, making sure every shot starts with the right foundation. This is especially useful for back-to-back espressos. The first shot of the day should be as good as the 10th. And when tamping is identical every time, your workflow becomes effortless. So with grind and tamp taken care of, what's left? Brewing the shot. Now, most home espresso machines leave you to decide when to stop the shot. But without measuring, how do you know when it's right? Instead of relying on instinct or using a scale every time, volumetric dosing ensures the same amount of water is used each shot. Now, to really get the most from volumetrics, there is a bit of a setup involved. You'll need to program your machine properly, which means using a scale to measure your espresso at least once. And think of this like dialing in your shot and getting the machine to know exactly how much water to dispense for that perfect extraction. But once that's done, the beauty of it is you won't need to weigh every shot after that. The machine takes care of the rest, giving you the consistency without the constant measuring. And that matters because brewing to an inconsistent volume can throw off the balance of your coffee. Too much water and you risk diluting the espresso, making it weak. And too little coffee coming out into the cup will also be weak when you begin adding hot water or milk to it. Now, of course, this is just one machine to achieve that level of control. There are several machines with these features, alongside of dose by weight grinders and automatic tampers. These are all designed to streamline that espresso workflow, and any combination of these can provide a simple, repeatable process. Now, it's not the cheapest way to approach espresso at home, but what it does offer is consistency and knowing the satisfaction that every shot is as good as the last. At its core, volumetrics is essentially timed brewing. And for it to work correctly, grind size, dose, and tamping need to be set properly. By controlling these key variables, volumetrics will be as consistent as a cafe. Where this exact process is used to brew hundreds of great espressos, and some bad ones, throughout the world every day. Once everything is set, the only adjustment you need to make is grind size. Adjusting this to keep your shot output on track. And you can double check this occasionally with a set of scales. And with this setup, brewing cafe quality espresso at home becomes effortless. At the end of the day, espresso is all about consistency. Every step in this setup, grinding by weight, automatic tamping, and volumetric brewing, is designed to eliminate the biggest sources of inconsistency while keeping the quality at cafe level. I think it's a workflow built for simplicity and precision. Everything flows seamlessly from grinder to tamping to espresso machine, with each step reinforcing the next. It's about making sure that every shot is repeatable, instead of tweaking each step every time. You're simply fine-tuning the grind size occasionally to keep your shot output consistent. Now, who is this set up for? I think it's perfect for those of you who want simplicity without sacrificing on real quality. You get cafe level espresso with minimal effort. It's less suited for those of you who enjoy manually fine-tuning every variable. Whether you love experimenting with different doses, different ratios, measuring every shot, I think this setup might feel a little too automated. But if you're after high quality espresso without the guesswork, this setup really does make it easy. And I beg the question, if you could make espresso this effortlessly at home, would you still go to a cafe? I mean, I still would, but it wouldn't always be for the coffee alone. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. If you have any further questions, add them in the comment section down below and we'll continue this conversation. And as always, if you found this video helpful, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video.